Hello, welcome to the third part of the Python for Absolute Beginner series. My name is Abdul Kudus and I'm ready to take you through this part. This part is just a quiz. You're not going to learn anything new. You're just going to have two quizzes to test what you have learned so far. And there will be solutions of this quiz right over here. But I actually want you guys to test out the quiz first. Try all what you can do. If you get it, fine, it means you've been learning well. But if you didn't get it, I would like you to go back through all what we did, because everything that we're going to do here is based on all what we thought, and there won't be any extra thing that we didn't learn over here. So we have two quizzes. The first quiz is going to be a centimeters to meters calculator. The next thing we are going to do is, let me comment this out so I don't keep on getting errors. Comments are things that we will learn in the next video. I actually planned a next video for you guys in the next video on comments. So the next thing I will be doing is a body mass index calculator. So to work with the centimeters to meters calculator, the first thing we have to do is tell the person welcome to the centimeters to meters calculator. Yep. The next thing that we are going to do is ask, let me comment this out, ask for the user's input in centimeters. Next thing is convert the user's input to meters. And the last thing we are going to do, is display the final value to the user. So these are 4 basic steps that we are going to follow, and I know you guys are going to do well. So the first thing to do is first print welcome to the centimeters to meters calculator, and we already did this. Cut this out. Let's count down here. Print welcome to centimeters to meters calculator. The next thing you're going to do is ask for the user's input in centimeters. So all what you're going to do is use the input function, and since we are going to use the value the user gave us for calculation and print it out, we would actually want to store the value in a variable so that we can access it later. So you're going to have a variable called user input, and this is going to be equal to the input function, and we are going to ask the person enter a value in centimeters. Let me write the centimeters in full. Centimeters. So after this, the next thing you're going to do is do type conversion. You guys remember we learned about type conversion, and type conversion is a way of converting one data type to another. The input function always gets the value the user types as a string, and since we don't want to be multiplying strings, we want to be dealing with numbers over here, so we're either going to convert this to an integer or a float. But since the user input can also be a float, the user can decide to type 1000.5 centimeters, so you have to convert this to a float. So first we're going to convert this to a float, so it's going to be wrap it with a float. So it's going to be float input enter whatever we want. So whatever the user types in here, it's going to be converted to a float and stored in the user function, the user input. So the next thing you're going to have is another variable called meters to hold the conversion that we do. So the conversion is 1 meter is to 100 centimeters. So we have to divide the user input by 100, and we are going to get what the meters value is. And the final thing is to print it out. So now we've completed this too. Final thing is to display the final value. So what are we going to do? We are going to print, and we are going to use f strings. So you remember what f strings are. So the first thing is we want the user's input and centimeters. So this means user input centimeters. So if the user enters 5, it's going to be like 5 centimeters. So whatever the user entered is going to be here. So if the user enters 10, it's going to be like 10 centimeters. And then space, so it means user's input centimeter space is equal to, and now we pass in whatever we got, that's the meters after the conversion, and we add meters over here. So this means the user's input centimeters is equal to our final answer meters. Let's try this and see how it goes. So when I run this, I'm going to have welcome to the centimeter to meter calculator, enter a value in centimeters. So enter 100 centimeters, press enter, comes as 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. Let me clear this console. So now I think we are done with whatever we have to do. So now let's run the file and see what happens. So when we run this, we can see welcome to the centimeters to meter calculator, which is the first thing we did. And now enter a value in centimeters. This is what we use the input function for. So what are we going to enter? We're going to enter 200 centimeters. And we press enter, and it says 200 centimeters is equal to 2.0 meters. Well, if you managed to do this on your own, well done. If you didn't, think you have to go back to the first and second lectures where we describe the basics of all of this. Go through them and come back. Make sure you complete this on your own. Now let's work with the body mass index calculator. Body mass index, as we know, is calculated as the weight of the person in kilograms, of course, divided by the height in meters squared. So in order to get the square of something, I think you have to do height times height, because it's like you're multiplying by 2. So that's the easiest way to get it. There are also other operators that helps you to get the power function very easy, like star 2. This means multiplying itself to the power of 2. So let's say we have 5. This means height to the power of 5. But something basic like height squared, you can just use height times height. Sorry. Or you can just decide to use the second approach I just showed you guys. So, knowing this, the steps to follow in order to create a BMI calculator is going to be just as same. First is going to print welcome to the BMI calculator to the screen. So we are going to have the print statement which says welcome to the BMI calculator. Next thing we have to do is ask for the person's weight in kilograms. So we are going to use the input function. So we just call a variable called weight to store whatever we get. Call the input function. We ask the person enter your weight in kilograms. The next thing we have to do is convert everything to a float, as I said at first, because this is going to give us the answer as a string. Then now we ask the person for his height, so we call this height. This is going to be a float also, because we're going to convert everything to a float. As for the input function, then enter your height in meters. Let's make the enter capital letter, the enter capital E. So after all of this, you're going to create a final variable called BMI, which is going to be weight times height squared. Just like this. Weight divided by height divided by height. You can leave spaces over here for readability. And now we just print the final thing to the user. Say your BMI is, then we just put in whatever we got from calculating the BMI over here, and there's supposed to be an F string. If you do this without an F string, it's just going to print these things as they are for you on the console. Now let's run this and see if everything is okay so far. So when I run this, I'm going to have enter your weight in kilometers. And the first thing I'm going to enter is 65. Enter your height in meters. I'm going to enter 1.8, and it says your BMI is 65. Do you think this is right? I don't think so. So this is one thing that I want to show you. I think over here you're supposed to convert this to this, because Python starts evaluating from left to right, and since the division and the multiplication tend to have the same the same precedence, I think the division will be carried out first before the height. So if you do it this way, it means carry out this as one and then do this together. So just like basic board math, let me clear the console first and let me run this again. So now it says, welcome to the BMI calculator. Enter your weight in kilometers. In kilograms, sorry, did I use kilometers? So I'm going to enter 65 again, and enter your height in meters. I'm going to enter 1.8 meters. Press enter, and it says your BMI is 20 points with a lot of these decimal places. And I want to use this opportunity to talk to you about the round function. We have a function in Python called the round function, which is going to round this for you. Just looks like the print function or the input function or the conversion type functions. So it also goes this way: round brackets and then whatever you want to have in there. So this rounds whatever you have for you. So let me run this again. The weight is in kilograms, okay, 65, and my height is 1.5, and it rounds it to 29. But if you wanted to maybe 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, whatever, just come and add the next parameter, which is how many decimal places you want. So if I put 2, I clear this, I run this again, let me run it again, put 65, 1.8 again, I have 20.06. I think this is all we'll have for you guys today. Thank you for your time. I hope to see you in the next lesson.